Hello, I am Colin and welcome back to the Learning with Blocksmith live stream. Today we'll be taking on the next part in our animated storybook tour and exploration series. And today I'll be actually taking a look at how you can actually animate your own objects within an already animated 3D model. So I'll take on the where I left off from last week, and I'll explore a little bit of the animated model that I imported into the builder. But I'll also show how you can animate your own objects, Blocksmith objects, within that model, so you can have not just the pre-made animations going on in those 3D models, you can also create your own animations. And we'll also take a look at one of my favorite things in the builder, which is adding special effects to create a very lively and kind of exciting scene. So we'll see how to add your own animations, add some special effects in there, and then next week we'll cap it all off with adding interactions and possibly even some gamified elements. So let's get started with today. Like I said, here I have my animated GLTF model. This I downloaded from Sketchfab, and a quick shout out to the Sketchfab user Pixel who made this 3D model downloadable and shareable. Today, like I said, I'm gonna see if I can add some more animations to this, because I only have an animation on my windmill here. There's an animation on the water wheel, and then an animation on the little flag over there. But I want this model and this scene to be a lot more lively. So I'm gonna try adding my own objects, customizing some of this scene a little bit, and then animating those objects. So let's actually, I'm gonna switch up that order just a little bit. First, I'm gonna customize the scene here, so I have a different scene setting. So one thing that I want is a little bit more light. So instead of setting it at sunset, I'm gonna change my daytime slider, and I want it to be set around midday. So I have a lot more light, and so I can see those animated objects a lot easier. What I also want is to kind of customize the actual model itself. So one thing I can do with the BlocksmithXR builder is you can actually delve inside, and I'll open up my hierarchy so you can see this. You can delve inside the parts of an imported model. So these were all created by the actual creator of this model, by Pixel. And I actually want to customize this a little bit. So I want to add in my own objects and apply some materials onto it. And the way that I'll do that is the waterway has kind of caught my eye here a little bit. And I think that could be maybe perhaps touched up a little bit, so I can see, possibly see the water actually moving and not just reflections in it. All right, so what I'll do there is I'll delete the waterfall that's part of this model currently. And as you can see, deleting that object in the animated model doesn't affect any of the other animations. So my animations are still working. And I will replace that waterfall with my own object, which I will use just a cube to get started. And I will apply a water material onto that cube. So I'll search for water. And I have a couple of choices. I have a murky water that won't be very see-through. And then I have this water, which definitely will be a bit more transparent. And that will be the one that I want to use, because I kind of want to see into the water as well. All right, let me stretch this out just like the original user had. And I want to make sure it's about the same size as well, same size and position. So for example, it's too high right now, my animated, or my water block that I just added. So I'll shrink it down. So instead of water being inside the little boat right there, the boat is sitting on top of it. And let's make sure it looks good from all different angles. Nice. And just from this side, I'll lower it down just a little bit more, or actually I'll scale it down. There we go. And I can even, if I want, if that looks a little too pixelated for me, I can kind of change around some of the settings here to change actually the speed of that current. So I'll do that a little bit, and then add just a few rocks so I don't have such a kind of jagged edge near the edge of my water here. So I'll add just a couple rocks, duplicate those, change their color a little bit, stretch them out. So like I said, I don't just have an edge to my water. I actually want, you know, a little dam that's kind of holding it in place. Perfect. And let's just rotate a few of those so it's clear that they look a little different. Okay, so I'm going to play the viewer again so I can actually enter this model in the first person mode. And from there, I'll be able to explore it and see if that water looks better. All right, there we go. So my water wheel is still turning. My fisherman's still sitting there. And now I have this little dam, the edge of my water. That looks great. And I love how there's actually kind of a current to it as well. Okay. So one thing that I would like to add, since I have a little fisherman sitting right here, or fisherwoman, is some fish. So let me see if I have some, yeah, I have a few pre-made fish here. But also in the BlocksmithXR, looks like we have some fish, but that's a jellyfish. So I'm gonna instead go for one of my own. And let's add a red fish in there. And that is actually already animated. So all I need to do is drop it, oops, accidentally selected the side, drop it into my water and have it, I could even have it just kind of float on top like that. And I'll have this fish swim in this area right in here. Let's see, first I want to turn it around just like that, and I'll animate it. Oops, there we go. To go swim a little slowly down towards the fisherman. So 2-3 second little animation clips here. And then when they actually reach the fishing pole, I'll spin the fish around so that it can swim back. And then just create a similar animation on the way back. So I can loop this, and this fish will kind of continuously swim back and forth between these few areas. And 2, and then finally turn it around one more time and have it start from the beginning. And now I would like to loop this. Let's loop forward, I think. That might need to change that, but I want to watch this animation now. So I'm going to play my viewer. Let's see if I can find my fish. Here it comes. Great. Cool. That looks perfect. So it definitely looked like it was checking out the fisherwoman's bait and kind of was interested, and there we go. It's just swimming around. So now that I have one animated fish here, I can just duplicate it and add a few more. One easy way to change animations is to change a couple of the first steps, especially in multi-step animations, because that will affect all the subsequent steps. And it will kind of greatly alter, you know, your animation type, you know, just by dragging just a couple of those steps. All right, so I have another redfish animated, and I'll do one more, but from my other side. So I'll animate the whole fish around, including its multi-step animation, and I'll have it swim in here. And I'll just change around just a few of those settings so I don't have them totally looped together. All right, let's play this scene one more time and check out my animated fish and water. That looks great. Cool. Come here, fish. Yep, there they go. All right, so I've added some animated objects to this scene. What I would like to try now is have another animation that doesn't loop, but it just kind of plays on the castle here. So I'd like a drawbridge. So really quickly, I'll add an object to act as the door. And I know I have a little what's this, little bridge here, but I'll have that drawbridge still kind of open onto the bridge. All right, and I'll grab a nice wooden texture. Let's see, something like that. It's a little too dark, so I'm going to lighten that up just a bit. Nice. And let me try this. I have an idea, like some like metal around the edges, like I have a metal band kind of surrounding it. And to do that, I need to shrink down the object, shrink its depth, but keep it nice and a little bit bigger than my original object. So metal, I'll do an iron band around the door. Perfect. All right. Oh, this side looks like I have a little bit of Z fighting, so I'll fix that really quick. And I will, actually, you know what, I'll call that good. I was gonna add a little bit more to the top there, but I think I'm fine for the moment. All right, so I'll group those two objects together. And now since I want a hinge basically on this, you know, I want the object to animate from the bottom, what I need is a hinge point. So I'll put that right at the base of my door here. Move my, there we go, gate, oops, right to the hinge point. And now I can add my door, which I will actually call door just for, let's call it door group or gate. Door's fine. And just make sure that my hinge is connected to my door. All right, now I can actually animate this to open. There we go. And have it slide down. Kind of just rest on the rocks there. And I'll have that take a few seconds. Let's have that be a really slow gate. I'll have that take 8 seconds. And I'll have it ease in or accelerate into its animation. Now to check this out, I'm going to just move my player over to my other bridge. So when I play, there's a fish, but I also have my animated gate opening my beautiful castle that I can now go explore. Looks wonderful. All right, so I have just a couple more things that I'd like to add to this scene. I have added a few animated looped objects for my fish. So I added some animated objects there, and I've added an animated gate that opens at the beginning of my scene and that allows me to go and explore my castle. However, I want to add also just a couple of special effects just to kind of brighten up the scene a little bit and make it a little bit more fun. So a classic thing to have around castles are some nice torches. I don't know why those two go together, but torches and castles just seem to go together. So I'll apply a nice wooden texture onto my piece of wood here. And this will be kind of the base of my torch. There we go. And I'll use a capsule for the top of the torch with kind of a cottony material. There we go. And I'll darken that up a little bit so it looks like it's being burnt. At this point, it's just making sure I get my animations, or excuse me, my rotations correct. And I'll also use a little metal band to kind of hold it to the wall. All right, here's a little torch. And apply a nice metal texture. Looks like it could be rotated just a little bit further. Perfect. Okay, now all I need to do is just add some special effects. So under effects, I have a few different fire options to choose from. I'm going to go with the classic campfire. Let me take a look at the bonfire really quick. Yeah, the bonfire is too big. The campfire will be perfect. All right. So just move it to the top of my torch group and then select everything. There we go. And group it. And now I can move my whole group to my castle walls. And it looks like I might need to rotate that just a little bit more. But voila, I now have some nice torches on the outside of my castle. So one more time, let's take a look. And you know what, I'll add some to the interior too, because why not? Torches are easy to duplicate, and they look pretty nice. Very cool. Okay, now let's check out my whole animated model with my special effects, my animated fish, and my animated gate. All right, there are my fish again. Let's take a look, and there is the opening gate with my animated, the animated gate with my beautiful looking torches inside of my castle as well. Cool. All right, so next week, like I said at the beginning, we'll be adding some interactivity to this. So like, you know, being able to go up and knock on the gate and then have it open for you, or, you know, possibly some other things like a bow and arrow, or, you know, adding some of those game elements to make this a really fun scene to explore. So definitely check us out next week. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the BlocksmithXR live stream channel, because we'll be producing tons more videos like this about how to create really cool projects super quickly in 3D using that BlocksmithXR builder. So please subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.